Time to burn some shit. All right, guys, it is officially March the 12th. I've got the old gulps out, and we're fixing to try to catch some of the first crappie of the year. Technically, I caught one yesterday because I was fishing out the window, and that's how I figured out that they were up here. And so really what I did is I was out here a couple of days ago. It's warm, it's the middle of March, but it's actually about 70 degrees right now. And this little pocket where I haven't finished building the deck around right here, this holds a lot of bait fish. There's a whole bunch of bait fish, and I saw them in the sun. And I know when the bait fish come up real close to the bank that the crappie start coming up in here late in the evening after the sun's warmed the water up, and they come in here every evening and feed on them. And so they'll be all the way around the bank. And I'd caught the last ones over there. I got a bunch of new treetops in the water over there where I cut down some stuff, and there's bait fish all in those. So I think some of the crappie will be staged back there. But this video is going to start out right here because I believe I can catch some crappie real quick. I moved some of the crappie stakes over here the other day. I don't know if anything's used in this area yet, but I'm about to find out. I don't like casting my shadow. There he goes, got him. Oh, wow, that was another big crappie. How am I missing them? These guys are not biting very well. I'm gonna bend my hook out a little bit. So I use these sickle hooks like that. And all I'm gonna do is just bend that hook out just a little. So I don't even know if you can tell it on the video, but I just bent it up a little bit because I've missed 2 crappie already. And then I don't know if they're, I don't know why I'm missing them, but I'm fixing to go back in here and try to catch another one. Ooh, there he was. Ooh, he came up and bit it. Got him. I got him. Oh, wow, look at how pretty this big black crappie is. Wow. Wow. Beautiful. He's got his spawning colors on. They're usually not near this dark. Look at how pretty that crappie is, guys. That's got to be the side. Look how, man, that is just a pretty fish. Wow, that's incredible. The males are so pretty in the spawning season. Look how dark he is. This is what that one looked like over there. Wow, that is nuts. Let's let this guy go. So he might be on the bed getting ready to spawn. I don't know. He's definitely at least fattening up for the spawn. See if we can't catch another one. Oh, there he was. Got him. Oh, little guy. Little guy. That's crazy. Oh, he's peeing. That's nice. Little bitty one. All right, dang, that's one hang, 1 catch, 2 catches, 1 miss right there. I'm gonna see if we can't do that again. I know there's usually some under this floating dock. There he is, I got him. Oh man, he had it, dang. I missed him. He bit just like a little, there he was, got him that time. Dang, that's a little guy. I'm gonna throw it back on this side of the dock. That guy's trying to be a magnolia. It's got the little bit of a black line on the top. There he is, got him. A little bit bigger than that last one. But this one came out from underneath the dock too. So a little bit better crappie. Female, she's full of eggs. We'll be gentle with her. the main thing is when you're doing this, I'm keeping my gulp minnow really close. I'm only keeping it within like 6 inches of the surface. I'm not letting it sink at all. I want to be able to see it because the fish are gonna, oh, there he goes too. Wow. Wow, that was another one. I just don't want it to be below the fish. You got to have it above the fish on these crappie. That's crazy. Let's see if we can't do that again. That's 3 crappie out of this one little bitty spot right here. That's nuts. This gulp minnow has about had it. I'm fixing to have to go get another one. This one's beat up. I wonder if there's any under that dock. I've got it just under the surface there. I like being able to see the gulp. I won't see it on the back side of this thing, but I like for it to be about that distance under the water where I can see it and I can see something come and get it. Oh, there he was. Oh, there was one in between those stakes right there. Wow. He did not get it. I don't know what it was. There he was. He got it. Oh, wow. Big magnolia male. Nice. Nice. Check out that stripe. Look at that. How pretty is that guy? And look, I just changed those stakes from last year. They were over there stacked in, and I just moved a few of them over here kind of spaced out and had this big male in it immediately. I'm gonna let it go right back in his hole. And I'm gonna go get a new gulp minnow. There he is, got him. Ooh, yeah, nice one too. Wow, look at that big dude. Dang. That's a, oh crap, he came on. Whoa. That's a really big magnolia. I don't know which way the light's best for you guys, but he's got the big black stripe across the top. Got the spawn colors, really dark male. Yeah, he's leaking. All right, I'm gonna throw him back. There he is, got him right there too. Wow. Ooh, another tank. Look at this big slab, dang. Whoa, come here, buddy. Holy crap, that's a big dude. Well, that guy was really hooked on there good. I'm gonna have to go get some pliers because that guy got hooked in some tough meat, but let me put him back in there. But that's a slab, guys. I'm hearing a lot of fish jump out there. I don't know if they're bluegill or what, but... Ooh, there he is, got him. Oh, wow, tank. Tank. Oh my gosh, this is a big crappie, guys. No, that's a bass. Dang, I thought this was a big crappie. It is not. I thought I had a big crappie. It's not. It's a nice bass. Alright, let's go see if we can't hunt a crappie down over here as well. That was a nice little bass, but I know there's crappie over here too. I'm hoping there's crappie. Oh, there he is, got him. Ooh, wow, what have I got? The bass are in here. Wow. Dang. That's 2 bass out of that hole. Nice. They have almost no color, like they've been on the bottom. Oh, there he is, got him. Oh, yeah. Oh, that looks like a female. Let me let some on out so I can flip her up here. Look at there. If she's spawning, she's out of eggs, unless that's a male that doesn't have his colors. So hey, we caught one right there. It was worth another pass. There he is. Oh man, I had another one right there, dang. Sometimes they bite. I don't know if they're trying to protect their nest or bed or whatever. Oh yeah, got him that time. Look, that's two right there. Awesome. I just fished through there a couple of times. Oh crap, I keep doing that. I've got 6-pound line, but I'm snapping it. It's another pretty fish. Let's let her back in there. All right, welcome back, guys. Today is a special day for the pond because I have a fresh delivery of fish that I'm fixing to stock in the pond. So I've got 4 bags right there. I've got another one that has wandered off over there. They've been acclimating for about a half an hour. I'm fixing to cut them open and let them go. Basically what I have is mostly fathead minnows. I'm gonna release 20 pounds of fathead minnows and some channel cats. I've got 100 channel cats in one of those bags right there, and I'm fixing to dump them in the pond. The minnows are forage food for the bluegill, the crappie, and the bass, and the catfish are hopefully so that I can start catching more catfish starting next year. So let me get the bags out and I'll show you what they look like. All right guys, here is 1 bag of minnows. I have 4 of these. This is 5 pounds of minnows. This is what 5 pounds of minnows looks like. And these are, I think they're $13 per pound from a fish farm in Milan, Tennessee called Greenwater Fish Farm. You can look them up on their website. I would highly recommend these. These guys are great. It's a family-run business. They're about the nicest people you'll meet. And I've used them multiple times to stock my pond with these. So I'm fixing to dump these guys out and show you what they look like as they're going in the water. You see if I can't bring you down here a bit closer. I've actually got a camera underwater right there. But this is basically going to make a cloud in the water. Wow, they are running everywhere. They're running all the way back over to the bank. And somehow they knew they went straight back to the bank. They did not want to go out in the middle, except a couple little stragglers out here. All right, let's get another one. All right, so here's bag number 2. This will be 10 pounds. I'm not gonna release them all in the same area. I'm gonna take some of them around the corner where all those big crappie are. Because I've been catching crappie on the bank, right against the bank. They're already spawning. It's March the 15th, and my crappie in my pond are already spawning. You see me in a jacket, but it's been 80 degrees the last couple of days. It's been storming all morning. Cold front came in, it's back chilly again. But bag number 2 going in, 5 pounds of Tuffies. Awesome. All right, we're gonna move over there to the other side of the pond and let some go over there so they're not all in one spot. But before we do, I think I'm gonna let the catfish go right here. All right, so this is what I'm actually most excited about. This is 100 channel catfish, and I will try to let you get a better view because I know you can't really see through the bag. But just to get channel catfish, they're super small. They're just babies. They're only like 4 or 5 inches long. Some of them are a little longer than that. But they are, I think, 55 cents a piece. So to get 100 catfish stocked in your pond was only 55 bucks. But check this out. This is what the catfish look like. Isn't that cool? Tons of these suckers. That's awesome. So they're only like, I don't know, a lot of them are around the 6-inch mark. They will not be big enough to catch this year, but next summer I should be able to start catching these guys. So let's dump these in. I can't wait until these guys are big enough to catch. I'm not big on eating catfish, but it's nice to have something you can come out here and do some night fishing. It's a lot of fun. They're trying to swim back in the bag. They don't want to leave. That's funny. There they go. Wow. They just went straight to the bottom. That's awesome. All right, let's go dump these other 2 bags on the other side of the pond. And I'm actually going to save some of the last bag because Bill and I are going crappie fishing tomorrow, and I'm going to use some of these as bait. But let's go over there. All right, this is crazy, guys. So I just dumped out those minnows, and something was already tearing them up right there. I was hoping they'd come back. I'm over here getting ready to dump out the rest of them. Look, right there, see? Fish are tagging them already. Wow, that's nuts. All right, let me get you guys set up. All right, so this is that little strip right here that had all those big slab crappies. And that means these minnows are gonna get eaten pretty quick, which, you know, you kind of want them to flourish and have a chance to spawn, but I really want to fatten these crappie up right here. So I'm gonna dump 1 bag right on these crappies beds right here. I've been just crushing crappie right here. I'll show you me catching these crappie. About the last 3 or 4 days I've been catching them. And it's mid-March and they're already on the bed. So that's not normal. But we've had some unseasonably warm weather. So again, another 5 pounds of minnows. That's nuts. They're literally everywhere. There's a few of them that's dead. Not many. That was a huge bag of minnows. There's like 4 dead in that one. The other ones, I think I had like 1 or 2 dead total out of the other 2 bags. None of the catfish died. Almost all these fish lived from my collecting them up the road and then letting them acclimate to here. So the last bag I'm gonna dump in a minnow bucket and take fishing. I'm gonna dump half of them out, most of them out in here, and I'm gonna take a bunch of them with me. I'm not gonna take 5 pounds with me, but I'll show you in a minute what I got. All right, so for this last bag of minnows, I'm gonna take these guys fishing with me tomorrow, and I ordered this off of Amazon. This is a collapsible minnow bucket. It has a portal in the top for put your aerator, and then it's got this, you can zip the screen hole all the way up in the middle, and then you can open it up while you're fishing. And so I got this one so I can take it with me on my kayak, because Bill and I are going out on kayaks tomorrow, and I wanted to have a minnow bucket that would go, and I think this one will set up on its own nicely. And I'm gonna put this aerator in it to keep them good and alive between now and tomorrow, because we've got, oh hell, what is that, about 18 hours or so before we're going fishing. So I'm fixing to put some of my pond water in here, get it loaded up, and then I'll get some of the minnows over here and get them in. So I dumped it in the water, pull this around, fold this up. I am going to start this aerator. This thing takes 2 D-size batteries, huge batteries. Oh, let me get the water out of the pocket. That'd be nice if that pocket had a hole in it. So the little pouch on the side needs a hole. I'm gonna cut one since I have my scissors handy. All right, that way that won't hold water where my aerator is going. All right, so this needs to go through the hole. This thing comes equipped with a little lead weight to wrap on there also. But what I'm gonna do is feed this through, hook this back up. I've got that lead weight wrapped around the diffuser like that, and that's what's gonna hold it at the bottom of the water down there. And I'll bring you around here so you can see. So it's really dumping the bubbles out in there, and this will keep them good and alive until we go fishing tomorrow. All right, I have the last 5 pounds of minnows, and I'm fixing to fill this minnow bucket up with minnows. I'm just gonna cut a small hole in it so they don't all just pour out. I want a lot of them out, but I don't want all of them. I just want to have enough for us to fish tomorrow. And so what's convenient about this thing also is you have a little handhole right there for you to get your minnows out, but you can unzip the whole top to expose it like this so you can see the inside to dump minnows in. All right, I've got quite a few minnows in there. You can see I took a ton of them in there. That's probably mad overkill. I might take some of those out, but you can see when I'm taking fishing tomorrow. This minnow bucket is pretty cool, but I'm gonna open the rest of these guys up, dump them in right here. I like this spot because there's so many crappie, and I really want to feed the crappie. And there they go. They're probably fixing to start getting tagged in there. I'm not seeing many. Yeah, they are still hitting them. They must have went up in that cove. There's a few hitting out in the middle, and there's a few hitting up in that cove. There was a few dead in that one. You can see this is how big they are. They're not very big, a couple inches long. All right, so that was awesome. Again, guys, that came from Greenwater Fish Farm. If you have a pond anywhere in this side of Tennessee, West Tennessee, I would look them up. Greenwater Fish Farm, Milan, Tennessee. They sell Tuffies, that's fathead minnows, bluegill, largemouth bass, channel catfish, and whatever they call those grass carp. They have a name, but it's grass carp. So when you have a lot of aquatic vegetation like I do, you buy those in here and they help reduce the volume of vegetation in your pond. And I really need to get a bunch of those, but I was focusing this trip on catfish and food, forage food. These minnows realistically won't last very long. These fish are gonna eat these suckers up. See, there went one right there. Like, they can spawn in here, most likely they will if they don't eat all of them, but they are getting tore to pieces over here. They're actually already getting them out there too. So what I may do is rig my pole up and see if I can't catch one on one of these minnows up here real quick, and just drop it in the water and see if I can't catch one on it. I got my setup here. Let me show you what I got. I'm gonna set you down. I've got what I call a crappie hook. I don't remember the size of that. I could show you on the box later. I got a split shot about 6 inches up, little bitty, the smallest one I can get away with, just enough to knock that minnow down, and a pretty good size float. But we can see if we can catch one right here. Look, he's got it. Look, got him. Wow. Look at that crappie, guys. Dang. It worked. That took all of 2 seconds. Look at that slab on that minnow. That's one of the females. The males have been up here. That's a female. Awesome. I'm telling you guys, these are the smallest little minnows, but they are super stout. They are pulling my float all over the place. Look how much bigger that float is. I just saw a hawk fly by with a snake in his talons. That's crazy. Look how that float is like 4 times the size of that minnow. And this thing is pulling this float all over the place. But I'm standing out here, a hawk, literally, it is March the 15th, and a hawk just swooped down on the other side of the pond and got a little snake about that long, and he's flying off with it. That's crazy. March. Mosquitoes were out this morning, snakes are out now. It's crazy. Unseasonably warm. Crappie are already spawning. This is the craziest weather for March that I have ever seen. See if we can't get one out of right there. Oop, there he goes. Got him. Ooh, wow, look at that tank. Wow. Here, let me. Wow. Beast. Oop. Sorry, I tore your mouth all up. Look at that. Nice. Nice. All right, I'm done out here. I'm gonna let these guys spawn and be okay for a little bit. I don't want to catch them too much while they're spawning. I'm gonna mess everything up, which is probably already done a little bit of damage, but feeding them helps. So we have had 2 days of rain. Really only like a day and a half, not even 2 full days, but we've had a mountain of rain. So I'm fixing to show you my next big problem. You can't tell it looking back this way, but my pond is at maximum level. And when I say maximum level, I mean it is literally going over the dam over here. So I'm gonna show you how it has crested the top of the dam. I've got 2 blowouts on the dam on the back side, washouts that I gotta get my dirt guy to come out here and fix. And he's got me on his schedule, but I didn't call him until a few days ago, and I should have called him before this. And my culvert is totally underwater. My culvert is way too small for this pond, is what they told me originally, but it's what I've got. So I'm gonna get him probably at some point to rip that out and put a spillway over here, just basically a little rock hump for the water to flow out that's at the lowest point that I want the water to be. But what I wanted to show you was this spot right here where it's actually physically going over the dam. This is gonna cut a hole in my dam right here, massive. So anyways, let me show you. The woods are totally flooded out down there. The water is going over the dam right here pretty quickly. Luckily enough, there's enough vegetation right here where it's keeping the erosion down. But right here is where it starts getting a little wonky. And so I'm gonna get him to patch this a little bit as best he can, and then build this up a little bit so it'll stop going here. I want it to go over there. So I'm gonna lower that over there to make all the water run that way, and then build this up with that dirt. But there's another hole over here that I'm really worried about. This is that wheat, guys, just FYI, that I planted for the deer, and it's almost full grown and it's about to bear fruit. So needless to say, it stayed the whole season. Some of this right here in the middle didn't, but this is the other one right here. And actually, surprisingly, doesn't look that bad. Like, it's bad. You can see it's a giant hole. I mean, you can drop a couple four-wheelers down in there. It's a pretty big hole. So he's going to come and dig this out and patch this. And he's already patched it right there a couple times, and it's just working its way down the line. There was a couple of trees right here you can see, and it's their roots that's caused all the problems. This one will probably be next because I cut that one down. But this looks like somewhat of a washout right there, but these couple of trees have got it somewhat protected for the moment. But that's what's next on the agenda. Hopefully My boy William will come out here with his track hoe and hook me up. He brings dirt, clay dirt, because we can't get clay out here. For some reason, finding clay is like the hardest thing on the planet. So you can see this is what my culvert produces. It's not a very big culvert, but it is blasting out of here. And it's going just as fast as it can go. Yeah, I don't think it can go any faster. I mean, it's just blowing and going. It's just too much water. But it's got a full freaking river going. But I just wanted to show you how high the water can get. When it gets too high, the culvert needs to be way bigger than you think, because that's a lot of water, a lot of rain. But the rain's already back. I'm fixing to go get in the house.